Okay, now, how do we figure out what size of cylinder do we need? There's several steps to this one, but there's one number that I want you to remember, like, forever. This can go with hydraulic cylinders. This can go with the cylinders on your engines to figure out what the cubic inch is and stuff like that. So you need to know this number. It's really, really important. 0.7854. You need to bury that in your head. Because you will, if you're having to figure out a cylinder size, or if you had to figure out, if you just got an engine and they're saying, hey, what's the cubic inches of that? This number is important. It is also the same as using pi. I use this because pi is such a big, long number. I really don't want to remember like 16, 18 numbers. So I just remember these four. 0.7854. Bury that in your head. 0.7854. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to show you how to figure the area of the cylinder, or the area of the piece you're trying to figure out, the bore of it. We've seen how to figure, if we had our area, what to do, and the pressures and stuff on it a while ago. Now we're going to figure out this area of this cylinder. So you see I've got an X through it. The reason why I got the X is you need two bore sizes. And the reason you need two bore sizes is because sometimes bores are not perfectly rounded. Actually, with a diesel engine, they're never perfectly round. They will change as they heat. So, now, not saying there's a big difference. They're never perfectly round. So, how do we figure out the area of the cylinder? Well, you see here, to figure out the area of a cylinder, we take bore times 0.7854. That gives our area. Now I put a B here for bore. In the book, it's probably going to say a D for diameter. Diameter is just the size of a circle from side to side, straight across the center, okay? I use bore because it's easier for me. Instead of saying diameter times diameter, me personally, I like saying bore times 0.7854. I like bore times bore. So, to figure this, the bore of this, say our bore is 4 inches, okay? We'll say 4 inches crossed, like here, it's 4 inches across. And they say this one is 4 inches across. We need two measurements. And it's best to X them across. So you get a measure from this corner to that corner, that corner to that corner, and you can get that better. You can't get it by going measuring here, then measuring here, because you could hit that one spot that's off a little bit. So you want this X. So we can say 4 and 4. So we can say bore times bore, just 4, times 0.7854. And that will equal, so 4 times 4 is 16. Now I'm going to get my calculator out to make sure I get this right. So we're going to say 4 times 4 times 0.7854 equals. So we have a bore, or area, of 12.57. I'm going to round up a little bit. It's 12.566. So we're going to round up a little bit just to round a little bit. Now, if I was wanting to cut a bore for an engine, I would not round up. Write all your numbers out. But for this, we're going to round up to the 7. So that's our bore there. So we can say our area. So we can say right here, our area of that was 12.57. Okay. So it is bore times bore times 0.7854, the number to remember, equals our area. So, now we know our area. What else do we got to have to figure out a cylinder? Now, The only other thing we need to know to figure out a cylinder, we have to have the volume of a cylinder. That's how you know how big around it needs to be and how long it needs to be. The pressures and stuff like that is where we get the thickness of the sides. So, how do we figure that? We have to add the length of the cylinder. So let's say we have a 16-inch cylinder. This is the stroke length of the cylinder. I hope you can see that. I'm kind of a little bit small. Sorry about that. So we figure that by area times length equals the volume of that cylinder. So how do you figure out these? Again, I like using the bore times bore. So we go bore times stroke times 0.7854 equals our volume. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not that bad. Okay, so we'll go back to the same things we had a while ago. Okay, so we can actually kind of keep it flowing. So if we say our bores on each side, we had 4 inches. Now our stroke, we know we have 16-inch stroke. And that fills that in. So to figure that, we get our trusty calculator here. And we say 4 times 16 times 0.7854 equals. We have 201, bad one, 201.06. That is the volume of that cylinder. From a bore of 4 by 4, 16 inches long, equals 201.06 cubic inches. Okay? That is what we're going to need to know to be able to figure out a cylinder. I know at first this looks like a lot, but once you get that, I call it the song in your head, the bore times stroke times 7.854. Bore times stroke times 0.7854. That will get stuck in your head. This 0.7854 is critical. You can measure these. These, after you get your mics out and you measure that, you get this. This ain't going to be in a measurement you do. So remember, 0.7854 has to be put in there on both of them to figure it out. So once you get these, and for the last video, figuring in all the pressures and the forces and area, which is here again. This is how we got the area in the first place. And you can check all that together and see how it all flows together. So write this number down in big letters. Circle it if you have to. Remember that number. Write this formula down here. That's the formula that you'll be seeing. The area times length equals volume. And me personally, I would write these two down also. Bore times 0.7854 equals your area. Area. X measurements. Bore times stroke times 0.7854 equals volume. So bore times stroke times 0.7854. If you have any problems with that, please email me, and we'll go to the next video.